Today I'm going to do a quick tutorial on how I set up my indicators for trading. I'm about to do 2 challenges. You can follow them on my Discord. I'll be posting the trades on Twitter through TradeHub, so the actual win-loss record will be there, the profitability factors will be there, my losing trades will be there, and TradeHub has a cool feature where you can actually look where I took entry and look where I took exits. So all of it will be completely transparent. I'm doing a prop futures challenge with earn to trade, and then I'm doing just a options contract challenge. Users in my group wanted me to attempt a 500 to 5,000 account challenge, so I'm going to do that completely transparent. I got 2 channels set up in there. So if you haven't, subscribe, and comment to this YouTube video, go check out my Twitter, and then please go to the Discord and show your support there. All of it is completely free. This indicator is free. The PAM indicator that you see right here with the overlay is free, and so would love to have your support. And it's a very useful tool. I will show you how I set everything up. So first and foremost, I want to go into my studies. You'll see that I have the exponential moving averages 1348. I do the 13 as a cyan blue, and I do the 48 as a gold. SATY ATR levels I have set on day when I'm on a 3-minute time frame. I do not have my trend spark turned on, but I do have these Darvis boxes that you can find in the Discord. I will share them. SATY pivot ribbon I don't have currently turned on, although I do like it. It just takes up too much chart space for me. I do have the 2 PAM studies. So this is the PAM indicator with the 15, which is what you see right here. So that's your stop loss on a put, and this is your entry line. And then I have the 3-minute, which you also see right here. That is your stop loss, that is your entry line. And so what I've been doing lately is using the 3-minute to get in the trend and the 15 to confirm it. So if we go down here and we reject, then I'll probably get out of that trade, just so I can come back in later after it drops down below the 15, confirms the trend. But with ES we have this line going up, and so I do definitely draw trend lines. This trend line was drawn on the 30 minutes, so that's why you're seeing a little bit of craziness right there. And then I have early in, early out pro, which is a paid tool from John Carter's Simply Trading. You don't need it. It's just something that I've used for a long time, and I'm used to seeing it on my chart. The real ones that I have down here at the bottom are kind of important. So I have open interest, which is in the back of my layout. Can't see it because I'm on ES right now. Then I have relative volume, and I leave that as what it's set on. It's on 2.0. I want to see if I'm having any moves that are supported by 2.0. As you can see, those are typically strong moves. As when this trend started, the relative volume started going up, and I want to see that relative volume creeping up as we move higher. And then I have Squeeze Pro, or you can use TTM Squeeze. It really doesn't matter. The only thing different between Squeeze Pro is that you'll get 3 layers of squeezes. You'll get the low, which is the black, then you'll get the mid squeeze, which is the red, and then you'll get a high squeeze, which I call the nuclear squeeze, and it is the yellow. And then I use TTM Wave, and I'll show you how to set those up real quick, because you have to kind of set those up. And what I do is for Wave A, which is Wave 1 in TTM Wave, you just leave all the plots on. Wave 2, you take the plot off. And then Wave 3, you take the plot off. Leave the 0 line, because you want that 0 line to show up, because that gives you whether you're up, or if you have upwards momentum or downwards momentum. And then Wave A, as you can see, is you're gaining, and then your kind of brownish color is that you're actually going down. Now I could turn that to red, but that's just standard what comes in TTM Wave. And then with the wave C, which is your long-term momentum. I forgot to say, wave A is your short-term momentum of the trend, and wave C is your long-term momentum of the trend. So with wave C, this is in John Carter's Mastering the Trade. I learned that from him. I turn off wave A, and then I leave on wave C, which is your wave 2 high. There is a wave B. I leave it on. It doesn't really matter. Well, this says both are wave C, high and low. So I just leave both of these on because I know that this gives you wave C. And then you have your contraction, which if you have this, it's actually going to show up differently on yours because contraction will actually probably be the cyan color. I swapped them. And then expansion is your blue. I just wanted it to match Squeeze Pro. So that's the indicator setup that I use. Super simple. You can tell my chart's not crazy. It doesn't have a lot of stuff on it. Just a trend line, 1348 EMAs and PAM. And then, you know, I do have my break of structures that I draw lines on. And these are your Darvis boxes that you see that when we chop, that's what you can see there. All right, so next I'm going into the tick indicator chart. It's just very simple. I use bars, so if you want to set it as bars, I think you go, oops, no, wrong one. Yeah, right here. Go to appearance, and you can change this to bar instead of candles. It will automatically appear as candles first, and then you want to go to yeah, that's really it for tick. Now, so I have 4 levels that I monitor. So I start with a 0 line, and then I have the 600, which is, you know, just selling. It means you're in a bull market, and then, or sorry, buying. It means you're in a bull market, and then the 1000 level is extreme buying, and that really means that your trend is super strong. And what you'll see a lot of times is how, you know, and you won't see it really right now because it hasn't really done a lot on Friday, but you'll see this levels go up to 1000 and they come back down to 600 and then they go back up, or they'll come back down to 0 and they'll go back up. And that just means you're in a strong trend. And it's the same thing with the opposite. So minus 600, you'll see it go down to 600 and then maybe drop down to 1000 and then go back up to 100 and come back down. That just means your trend is still active. If you see tick bouncing around, or if it's staying between the 400s, like 400 to negative 400, just means it's a lot of noise in the market and it's really not a significant trend. Even though you might see price action if there's low volume, that doesn't mean that that's in a trend. It means that it's probably being manipulated by a few players and it could have the rugs pulled out from under you very quickly. So that's tick. Remember, 1000 extreme buying, negative 1000 extreme selling, and a lot of people like John Carter do a play called a tick fade. So when it gets up to 1000, he'll jump in a trade. He actually has an alert that goes off and it makes a noise, and when it goes off, he goes to look at his tick and he'll get in the trade up here and take that trade all the way down in a choppy market, and that's called a tick fade play. I leave it on the 1 minute chart. So next I'm going to talk about Ticky C. And so Ticky C is just, I leave it, actually I'm surprised I have it on that. Yeah, maybe I do leave it on 3 minute for a reason. But what I do with Ticky C is this is just an indicator that lets me know when a buying or selling algo has hit the market. I don't really pay any attention to anything between 25 and 25. I start at 26 and negative 26. So if you see a 26 hit, you know a buying algo is hit, and that for temporarily the market makers have put an algo on that will cause price action to most likely go up. They don't last a long time, but they do hit, and then you'll see there's a 26 hit on the negative side, which means a selling algo is hit. Now if you see a complete 30, which is very rare, I mean I hardly ever see a 30, but there's a 27, 28, which means it was a little bit more of a significant algo that hit the market. You know that you're having intense buying here. So That's the setup for Tiki C. Super simple. Just need a 30, 26, negative 26, negative 30, and you're good to go on that one. And then I definitely, one of my favorites is VIX, for obvious reasons. I have the pivot cloud on VIX, but I'll probably just turn that off because I don't really like the pivot cloud on my box because it takes up way too much space. I do have Trend Spark on there, but don't pay attention. It's nothing. And as you can see, the Darvis boxes are doing their job with VIX. And I have some significant levels marked on VIX. I definitely use the 1961 level because we play off of it so incredibly much. When we get there, we definitely find that support to move higher on VIX. And then I have 2099, also a significant level. As you can tell, typically we'll drop down below those or go above depending on what we're doing. So now we're working back down, and I'm not saying that these are levels you need to have on your chart, but I use them, and it does come into play quite a bit for right now. And these levels do change. I'll adjust them throughout the year because sometimes VIX will be up in the 30s. Just depends. So that's my VIX setup, and all VIX does is it's an inverse to SPY. If you see VIX going up, the SPY is going to go down. If VIX is going down, SPY is going up. It just means, you know, the volatility that's in the marketplace. There's several leveraged things that you can play with VIX. There's a lot of you can actually trade VIX options if you want. I've done that before, made really good money on it because it can spike quickly. But I wouldn't play VIX unless you're an experienced trader because it is leveraged and it can have a rug pull at any time. And finally, I use DXY just because I like DXY. And once again, I have Pivot Cloud on. I would take that off. I wouldn't have it. Yep, don't need that. Don't need that. And I don't use VWAP on anything anymore. I used to trade off of VWAP for PAM and others, but look, I have the 21 still on. You know, you can tell I just kind of just look at these charts and reference them. I don't do any trades off of them. So DXY, same thing, kind of an inverse with SPY. Sometimes it's correlated, but most of the time if you see DXY going up, you're going to see the SPY going down. So I just like to have a reference for that while I'm trading, and you know, it's just a good tool to also have. So there's my complete setup. You can see my day chart, and then I have my 3-minute chart up there. All of my, you know, change of character and break of structures are fumbled up into the day, and it looks like crap right now. But I leave them on there. I don't really care. The only thing I'm looking for in the day chart is, you know, the momentum of what's going on. So I really solely trade off my 3-minute chart because now I have the overlay for the 15-minute overlay, so I don't really have to reference the 15-minute chart as much as I used to. I just look at the price action on the 3-minute and use the 15 to confirm trends. So if I was going to take something on ES, you know, one thing I would definitely look at is if the 3-minute fired, I would take the signal on the 3-minute right here, stay in because I'm not hitting my stop loss, and then I'm confirmed right here, right? I'm rejecting off the 13. I'm going back up, retesting the support or the previous support that caused this bar and this order block, because that's basically what this is, and then the knife down, and then follow that 13 all the way down to when PAM generated another signal, and then I would also see my trend support here, and then know that we're probably going to go back up, take that signal, ride it all the way back up, and then you see the Darvis box form. That's at the time where I would probably get out, and then just keep riding it until I got another PAM signal, right? So that's basically it. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments, or like I said, join the Discord. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment to this video. It really helps, and I want to get this indicator into everyone's hands as much as possible. If you want to follow my live trading, I don't give out signals. I don't do things like that, but for the challenges, I will be sharing my plays so they're active and people can follow the win-loss and then just see why I'm taking the trades I am, the setups that I'm using. I want to teach you how to have the perfect setup, or how to have, there is no perfect setup, but how to have good setups that have good risk reward, good stop loss, and most of the day I'm risk off on the stock market. My trades will not last long. They'll be about 20 minutes to an hour at the most. Sometimes I'll do a swing play if I'm looking at the daily chart and I see something I like, but typically 20 minutes to an hour. And then these are the tools that I've just covered that I use during those processes. Oh, last thing, SATY ATR, I think I did cover that initially, but I leave that on day mode, and then whenever I'm on day, when I'm looking at the daily, I actually have that in the position mode. So that's position mode for SATY ATR when I'm looking at dailies. But for what I do trading during the day, I simply use the day mode. All right. So like I said, please like, subscribe, comment, and hit me up with any questions you may have. It's always a pleasure making these videos, and I love seeing, how many views I'm getting, and the Discord is growing. So thank you very much, and have a great day.